Okay. Welcome, dear. My name is Yael. Thank you for meeting with me so early. And so, congratulations on your engagement. And this is going to be your first wedding? Okay, first and only wedding. And so I'm going to be your wedding planner for this whole process. Okay, don't be nervous. I know weddings can be stressful. Here, what I have for you is this nice herbal drink. It's all natural, but some of the herbs can be very relaxing. So, here, let me just shake it around you. I find that hearing the sound is relaxing. Some gentle taps. And you're going to relax in 3, 2, 1. Okay, here. Why don't you take a smell? It has a floral kind of herbal smell. Okay, go ahead, take a sip. Okay, you like that? Great. So I'm going to hand this to you and just sip it throughout our session, okay? Now I want you to take a deep breath in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. And relax in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so how this is going to work is that this is our first meeting, so I'm just going to get a general assessment. I'm going to get a sense of the type of wedding you want, a little more information about you and your fiance, some information about your affiliation, if you want to have your wedding in a synagogue or have a more secular wedding. We're going to go over a lot of just general details. Once we have those general details, I can help with booking venues. And then once we have those venues planned, we can go into more of the details about catering, photography, all those kinds of things. Does that sound okay? Okay, you look a little more relaxed. That's good. Now, hold on just a moment. Now you're going to have to trust me on this. I have some interesting methods. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to measure your face while I ask you some questions and you tell me a bit more about your relationship and the wedding and what you're envisioning. Okay, so, oh yes, I think it's very cute. Okay, so just don't mind me as I measure you. I might write down some notes either during or after, but don't worry, I am paying attention, of course. This is very important. So just tell me a little bit about your relationship and how you met. That's really sweet. Oh, that sounds like very romantic. That's how you got engaged. Okay, just one moment. I'm going to ask you a few other questions. I just want to take some notes. Yeah, and the face measurements, believe it or not, they can help me get a sense of the makeup style, like how we'll contour your face. It can help me get a sense of what type of wedding dresses might look nice on you. Yeah, believe it or not, it's something that I've learned and picked up over the years. So, Okay. Let me just get my bookmark. Okay. So that was a very sweet story about how you met. I'm just going to put that there. Now tell me a little bit about wedding expectations. Basically just if you want a big wedding, a small wedding, what you're kind of envisioning, themes. It's okay if there's no theme either, okay? Just tell me generally what it is that you're expecting or hoping for, what you're envisioning generally for the wedding. Sure, that's understandable. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Stay still. Mm-hmm. Okay. And anything else? Any big no's or anything? Sure. Okay. Okay, I have some thoughts on that. Let me just write down these measurements. Yes, I know it is a unique method. That's why I put on my website and my advertising that I am one of a kind, because I really think outside the box and I really dedicate my attention and time and energy into every wedding that I help manage. Okay, so and there's one more part I'm going to measure, but let me just tell you a bit about what I think. So it sounds like you don't want a very big wedding. You really just want to focus on the really important people in your life, but not necessarily a super small wedding. It sounds like you're really focused more on the ceremony. It sounds like you want to have that in a synagogue, yeah. And then the reception or after party, the part with the dancing, catering, that part, it sounds like you want to do something more minimal or out of the box. Yeah, that's understandable. Don't get me wrong, all weddings are wonderful. I've gone to many, and they're all so fun. But there is kind of like a general American wedding format of having the ceremony. Maybe there's appetizers or drinks in between, and then having kind of a party where everyone dances. There's a DJ, there's catering, and that's really lovely. But sometimes people want something that's a little bit different, and that's okay too. It sounds like you want a combination of traditional and non-traditional, which sounds like your relationship a little bit, yes? Okay, yeah. Okay, so let me just measure a few other things and I'll ask you some other questions. So you didn't mention this, but do you have a specific affiliation? Were you thinking reform or conservative? Oh gosh, I didn't even think to ask, is this an interfaith marriage? Okay, sure. Okay, so you have a few synagogues in mind, but want some recommendations, sure. Well, what are the ones you're thinking of? Okay. Okay, yes. Okay. Oh, and that one too. Sure, sure. Okay. Well, I can tell you, they're all very lovely. They're beautiful synagogues. If you're hoping to get some photos, you're going to get some really beautiful photos. I will say that the third one you mentioned, they're a bit more conservative and strict. They don't do interfaith weddings. They're very, very traditional. It sounds like maybe you want one that's just a little bit more, not, I don't want to say reform, but just a little bit more open to some differences from the tradition. Okay. And do you have one that's like your top? Yeah, that one is quite beautiful. And I think they will be really the best place for what you've described to me. Although I will say the second one you mentioned is a really great runner-up. It's really beautiful as well. I've worked with a handful of rabbis from there. And the fourth one could definitely be like a backup, but I think between the first two, I think we can find one. Yeah. And I'll look at the availability that they have. I'll contact them. I have direct contacts, so it's better if I do it for you. But was there a certain month that you were thinking of having the wedding? Is this going to be an October wedding, which is very popular? A June wedding is very popular. Is it something in between? Okay, I see. Yeah, that should be enough time in advance that they'll hopefully have enough openings. So what I'll do is I'll pick that month first and I'll see what they have available. If not, I'll see if there's dates that are close to that, maybe a little before or after. Does that sound okay? Okay, yeah, the weather shouldn't be that drastically different in that time. Okay. And can you just close your eyes for a moment? Okay. Keep them closed. Okay, open. Okay. I think we're done measuring. Let me just make a few more notes. Okay. Here we go. Okay, I'm just going to make some notes about the type of makeup I think will look nice. You did want to have makeup? Okay. Okay. So let me just make notes about the month. Number one choice is but could also which likely not final backup would be okay. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll contact the synagogues and I'll get back to you with dates of availability and price range. Let me ask, because most of the synagogues will have a rabbi that can officiate. They'll also usually have their own chuppah and a prayer shawl. If you really need it, they might have a glass that you can step on at the end of the ceremony to break. But if you have your own, if there's a chuppah that you want, if there's a prayer shawl you're bringing, just anything you're planning to bring. Okay, so you have your own glass that you're going to be breaking. Great. Oh, that's so sweet. Yes, I'm very familiar with that. A glass that's a nice pretty color, and you stomp it and break it, and then you put it inside a mezuzah, like a clear mezuzah. That's so beautiful. Okay, let me just ask, what color is the glass? Blue classic. And you'll use their chuppah and prayer shawl. Okay. And did you want the rabbi that's at the synagogue to officiate, or did you have a close friend that does these things? Sometimes people want a close friend that can officiate. Okay, sure. Well, yeah, get back to me if that changes. And either way, the rabbi would be there, even if they're not going to be the one running the ceremony or doing the officiating. They'll still be there to make sure everything is running smoothly, and they'll also be a witness for the ketubah, if that's what you're going to do. A ketubah, great. I think they're beautiful. And if you're going to have this kind of more traditional synagogue wedding, I think a ketubah is a great idea. Do you already have a ketubah picked out? Okay, well, I actually, I know a few different vendors with different price ranges. There's one that's an independent artist, and she water paints all of her ketubahs and then makes copies, and so those can be a little bit more pricey, although there is still a range, but they're very beautiful, very unique and one of a kind. There's also one that's a little more, I don't want to say box cutter, or there's one that's a little more, there's also one that's a little more, I don't want to say cookie cutter because I don't want to degrade the ketubahs. They're beautiful, but they're just a little more traditional. They get printed. They're not like hand painted and then copied. And those have a wide range of prices as well. Is there a price range you had in mind? Okay. So what I'll do is, I'm just making a note. I'm going to send you an email with links to both of the sites I'm thinking of. There are a few of those hand-painted ones that are in your price range, and I'll link those specific ones as well. And then the other site that has kind of more variety, There should be a lot in that range. There's definitely some above that as well, but I'll send you a couple specific ones and just links to the site. You can browse and let me know what you think. Okay. Okay, how are we feeling so far? I want to check in with you. Oh, I'm glad to hear it feels less overwhelming. I know it can be a lot to make all these choices. It's really unfortunate that wedding planning can be stressful and that the wedding industry can be such a big to-do. Why don't we take another deep breath in and breathe out. No worries, Yael is here for you. You're gonna have a beautiful, beautiful wedding. So I have enough information just for now about the synagogue and the wedding ceremony itself. I'll definitely get back to you with finer details once we have a venue picked and some other things. Let's talk a bit about the wedding reception, the after party, whatever you want to call it. Sometimes after the wedding ceremony, the wedding party will do photos. I think these synagogues we're thinking of are very beautiful, so we can definitely take some there. While you're getting your photos taken, did you envision some sort of like cocktail hour that isn't really like the main after party, but it's a place for guests to go? Okay, so you want the guests to just go to the second location. Maybe there'll be drinks there, but you're not going to have like a happy hour and then a third location. Okay, I like that. That makes it simpler. Don't get me wrong, I love those little cocktail hours, but sometimes it is nice to just have two locations. Okay, so for the second location, you said you didn't want to do like the whole to-do. It sounds like you don't want or you don't care about having a dance floor and a DJ. Maybe you want to have catering, but just something a little more fun. Okay, something that's people can get involved in. Okay. This might sound really out of the box, but I have done it with another couple. They actually were very outdoorsy and active, and so they went to an indoor rock climbing place where everyone participated by doing rock climbing. Certainly, you have to be physically able for this, and your guests need to be, but if it's going to be a smaller party, that is something that can be very fun. I have to say the guests did really have a lot of fun. It made their wedding very memorable. Okay, so you like that idea, but maybe something a little less physical or something with more variety. Okay. Let me back up. So we can do something like the rock climbing, which was really out of the box and exciting, or we can do something very simple like just booking a restaurant, like, booking the whole place, reserving it for just your party. It could be like one of those little boutique bars, or it could be a restaurant, and you could just have the whole place to yourself. There'd be food and drinks, or we could do something in between. Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, what I'll do is I'll send you links to a couple restaurants. Well, one is a restaurant and one is, it's technically like a bar brewery, but it's a women-owned business. It's very cute and chic. I have seen some wedding parties go there. So I'll send you links to that and this restaurant I'm thinking of. I'll show you, pictures of what it looks like, what the price ranges are to book the whole place and have catering and drinks, or just one or the other. And that way you'll know what that costs and if that's what you want to do. But then I'll also send you links to maybe a few other things that might be outside the box and a little fun. Yes, there is a place in town that is basically like an arcade, and they have a lot of games, and they do have catering. I will say the food is like bar food. It's like chicken fingers, burgers, fries, things like that. But they definitely have a lot of alcohol, and even though you're adults, I think it can be kind of fun to go and play all these arcade games. Is that something that maybe seems more accessible to the different people in the wedding that maybe can't do rock climbing? Oh yeah, I'll send you a link of the one I'm thinking of, because it actually it doesn't feel like a little kid arcade, although I think children are allowed. I'll check on that, but it does actually look a little more upscale, and they do parties all of the time, so they kind of have like the catering and partying done. Any other ideas? We've got the little the brewery, the restaurant, and the kind of like fancy arcade. Let me think of some other ideas. There's some things we've never done or I've never done with couples, but I do think about from time to time might be a fun idea. Maybe going on a city tour together, or going to one of the big museums together. We can go to like the park as well if the weather permits, but I do think for the time you're looking at, indoor might be better. Yeah, let me brainstorm. So what I'm going to do is, in addition to sending you the information about the bar, the restaurant, and the arcade, I'll just send you some links to some other things I'm thinking about, give you a general sense of the price range and what's available, and the limitations. And these will just be ideas. I'll leave a few notes. Does that sound good? Okay. I really think it's exciting that you're thinking outside the box. Yeah. Okay, I have one other thing that I want to do now that we have kind of like the broad picture, and we're going to look at a few different options, and I'll get back to you. But before you go, there's a few things I just want to do to help you relax and feel secure. It's just kind of a tradition that I do. Okay. Oh, and I see that you finished your drink. You can leave the empty bottle on the table next to you, but I am gonna give you one more to take home with you. I think that you've relaxed a lot, and when you go home, you might think about some of these things and start to get stressed again. And I want you to have this with you to help you relax. It's not that the herbs so much are that strong, it's all natural, but I think you'll also associate this drink with the experience we just had, and I think that's going to help you relax as well. I do like the green bottle. There's something just very pretty about glass that's in a certain color. When I was a child, one of my aunts had a home that she had in her kitchen like these blue vases and bottles, and they were like a deep, deep dark blue, and I always thought they were so beautiful. And I really like green as well. I chose green because that's what I think of for herbs. Okay, and you can take that home with you. And now I'm going to light a couple matches around you. I think the flame burning represents the flame of love. And I just want to do this. It's kind of a tradition I do. It's, to me, good luck. We're sealing our working relationship. We're sealing your romantic relationship and the wedding. So here we go. So here we go. I'm going to do this side first. Go, just waving it around until it goes out or gets too close to my fingers. Okay. We're gonna do this side as well. Just watch the flame. Watch it as it burns. The flame is alive, just like the love you feel. Okay. And let's do 2 more, and we just have 2 left. Perfect. See, it's Basharit. Okay. Okay, we did one underneath you. Okay. And the final one above you. Okay. Okay. And I'm just plucking away any residual nervousness, anything that you still feel a bit nervous about. Is there anything I didn't address today that you're concerned about? Okay. Yes, and next steps, what I'll do is I'll send you an email with some of that information, the ketubahs, the different venues we might look at. I'll do that within a day, I would say. And then when I hear back from the synagogues, I'll get back to you with that information. When we're ready to book, we'll start booking things. And I'll be with you every step of the way. I don't want you to feel alone. I'll help you with every step. If you want a photographer, if you want to do your makeup yourself or have a makeup artist, regardless, I'll give you that information I wrote in the notebook about the types of makeup looks I think will be flattering for you. If you need help with wedding dress shopping, I will help you with that as well. I just think I'm going to get back to you very quickly about the venue since we're booking this in advance. And then we can move on to those next steps. You can also contact me anytime, send me emails. If there's something you found that you want to do or a dress shop you want to go to, just send me the link, send me an email, let me know, and we can do it. Yael is here for you every step of the way, and I hope to meet your fiance soon too. Okay, great, great. Very exciting. Okay, let's take one last deep breath in and breathe out. Okay, my dear, it was so lovely meeting you. I think that you're going to have a really marvelous wedding, one that's really somehow traditional and yet unique and memorable. I think it's going to be right in the price range you're thinking of, and I I'm just really excited to work with you, and thank you for choosing to work with me. And we'll be in touch soon, okay? Goodbye. Thank you for watching my video. If you enjoyed this, please like the video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel, and as always, Toda Rabah Laila Tov. Thank you very much and good night.